guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a very exciting video because I am chatting all about Amazon's Scared Sexy collection that released the other day. These are all paranormal novellas written by a handful of authors, and I usually don't read these collections. If you did not know, Montlake is the publisher of this novella collection, and Montlake is actually owned by Amazon. They are an Amazon publishing company, and usually you can tell if the book is KU Read and Listen. So if you download the book from Kindle Unlimited, it'll automatically pop up on your Audible account, and the great thing about this collection is that all of them are part of that program. So 5 of the 6 I listened to on audio. It cost me nothing because it was part of my KU subscription. So like technically I paid my monthly subscription and that's why I got access to this, but I got them all for free with my subscription, and I usually do not like novellas. So I think this is actually the first time I've ever read any of these. They've done a Christmas set, they've done just like a random set, and I don't remember how many times they've done this. It's at least twice where they have 6 authors come together and write novellas, and they kind of group them together. They have nothing to do with one another. They all just are paranormal, scary kind of romances. So some of them take place on Earth, some of them don't. And I will say I have read from every single one of these authors before. There are 6 of them, and these definitely feel like these authors. So the authors I love, I really enjoy their novellas, and the authors I don't love, I didn't love their novellas. I also think that the length had something to do with it. So these range from roughly 80 to 90 pages to 50 to 60 pages. So some of these are almost twice as long as the others, and as someone who doesn't personally love novellas, the longer ones I feel like were the strongest because they had the most plot to them. So there are definitely 2 of these that were of roughly 50 pages that were purely spice. And they were my least favorite, no surprise, but I will go ahead and get started talking about all 6 of these and which ones I liked and which ones you should check out. I did listen to these within a day and a half of one another because they're very short. I listened to my audiobooks at 3 times speed, so they roughly took me a little bit over 30 minutes to read, which is about the speed that I actually read physically because I read one of these when I was working out, and I do about a 40-minute workout, and I read 90% of the book in my 40-minute workout, so that equates, and that was the longer one. It was the 85-page novella, so people think that listening at 3 times speed is very fast, but that's roughly how fast I read physically. So all of these did not take me that long to read, and I will be commenting on the narrators as well because I think they also very much reflected the author's books that they were narrating, which I thought was fun. So I feel like these novellas are a really great way after reading all of these to get a taste of these authors' books, because I feel like they were these authors' books, which makes sense, but like they're novellas, so I didn't know if you would really be able to get a grasp on with these authors' writings, but I definitely agree. Like I loved the ones of the authors I'm a fan of, and the audiobooks felt very them. So we're gonna start with my favorites. It should be no surprise. This was the reason I did this entire video, is because I was like, I'm gonna read this one, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of interested in this one, and maybe this one. I was like, I might as well read all of them. That is Miss Allie Hazelwood. I do have my page of notes if you see me looking down, but I have Hot for Slayer. This one was 94 pages, and this was so good. I give this one 4.5 stars. I don't know if I've ever given a novella 5 stars. I would have loved to see a full-blown romance from this. The plot and the world building, amazing for a 95-page novella. There were some of these that literally had 0 plot, 0 world building, 0 anything besides the spice, and this one has spice in it, but I feel like it was so well paced that it made sense. So this is a vampire and vampire slayer romance, and I'm really into vampires and shifters right now, so I really loved that dynamic. And so he actually gets amnesia, and she does not know what to do. They have literally been hunting each other for hundreds of years. Like this is a 100-year-old battle between them, and she is like, I don't know what to do. He wakes up and she's like, so what do you think about vampires? He's like, are you crazy? Those don't exist. And so she ends up like inviting him over to her house and goes from there. I don't want to spoil too much because I feel like anything I say beyond that will be too much, but the amnesia, so good. And then things that happen at the end, he kind of just like starts revealing things, and I'm just like, this is amazing. That's all I can say, because truly I feel like if you say any more about the plot of these books, it will spoil the experience because they are so short, but so good. My notes said amnesia, Oh, this other thing's gonna be a spoiler, so I can't say it, but one of my favorite tropes. Fast-paced and only spice at the end. So like it did take a little bit to get to the plot. So I said it took about 30 minutes out of the 2.5 hour audio to really get going into the plot because we got a little bit of background, and I feel like that was great pace. I give this 4.5 stars. So good. If you read any of them, read this one. so good, so good, especially for the fall time. I feel like that's also why I read these, is because I was so in the mood for paranormal, and that's what these all were. They scratched that itch for me. Okay, so that was my favorite. I'm gonna mark that off because I did read these not in that same order. I was actually really excited for one of these that I did not, that was my least favorite, which was the second one I was excited for. So that was my most favorite. And then my next favorite, actually surprisingly, is JT Geisinger's. So not surprisingly, this was this next longest. So I feel like I need longer novellas, like I said. And it was only 90 pages. This, I flew through it. Like I said, this is the one I read this morning on my run. So this is the only one I didn't actually listen to in audio, but this is Spicy Little Curses, and it takes place in New Orleans, and this woman's a journalist, and she's trying to find a good story, and she goes to this tattoo shop, and this guy, all tattooed, he immediately is like, go away, I don't want anything to do with you. He is actually cursed that any woman who falls in love with him dies, and she ends up getting together with him, and it's very hate to love though. Like, they banter a lot. It was like almost too much of the rom-com banter that I don't like, but it didn't like go over that point. This very much reminds me of her, I don't know if it's behind me, yes, this Ruthless Creature series, the Gods and Monsters maybe is what it's called, her mafia romance. Like, that sense of humor is definitely in this romance, and something happens though where she is being threatened by his curse. That's all I can say. So again, there is a lot that happens in here that I can't say because it really will spoil it, but if you like the New Orleans setting and like the kind of witchy curse setting, that's really the only thing paranormal about this. Like, she's completely human, he's basically completely human except for the fact that he's cursed, and they have to go and try to find out how to break this curse, and they do hook up as well. And so again, the spice just felt pretty natural in the progression of the romance. It didn't feel too much like out of nowhere, and I really enjoyed this one. The setting was fun, and it was a really fun one in this mix of novellas. So yeah, I liked it. I did say there was a little bit of insta-love, but that was for the plot. Like, it made sense for the plot. So really good. And this one also, I left a note that said open for more. The end of this actually kind of like set up a next story, so I'll be interested to see if she writes another story. I do believe JT Geisinger has other books with Montlake. Other authors in this collection don't, so I'm interested to see if she does write another book based off of this, because it left it open-ended. Like, their story concluded, but there was things that were left that could continue on in another book, so we'll see. 4 stars for that one. Then the next favorite, so those were the only ones I gave like 4.5 stars. I don't know what I want to talk about next. I think the next two I feel like are pretty even, and we're going into the shorter ones. So the next one was actually a short one, but I did really like it. It's Beautiful Nightmare by Katie Robert. When we get to the shorter ones though, no, it's a lot of just spice and relationships. So this one didn't actually have a ton of world building in it. The heroine is a demon. It kind of reminded me of like Monsters Inc. in a way. So she's a demon that's being trained on how to scare humans to absorb their fear, because they live off of fear. And so she's been training, and she takes a lot longer to train, and so she goes into this guy's room, and she doesn't wear clothes, and she goes into his room, and he's like, oh hey, and he's like obviously turned on by her, and she's feeding off of his positive emotions instead of his fear, because she can't make him scared. So it's basically, most of the book takes place in his room as she visits him every night to try to scare him, to try to get that emotion, because she's a demon and needs to feed off of it. So definitely pretty closed door of a setting and a plot wise. Like, there's not much beyond that, but I did enjoy it. And so I would have liked like a little bit more plot, but it's only, this one was 52 pages. I did give this one 3.5 stars. I think I would round up rather than down, because I like this better than the other 3.5 star book I read. But yeah, I just said not a ton of plot, more spice focused, demon visits a night. That is the basis of this one. But it was fun, and I do like Katie Roberts' writing. I feel like this definitely felt like her writing as well. Then the next one is Space Vampire by Ruby Dixon. This one was 77 pages. It definitely had more of a plot, so this is the 3rd longest one out of all of them, so it kind of like falls in the middle, but it's definitely on the longer side because all the rest are in the 50-page area. And this one definitely did have more of a plot, and the narrators, I meant to check, but it definitely sounded like the Ice Planet Barbarian narrators. Like, I felt like I was back in that binge where I literally listened to like 10 of those in a row, and then I went to her other series and listened to like 10 of those in a row, and then her other series. I felt like I was listening to a Ruby Dixon novel, and I loved it. So the heroine is stuck on this spaceship, and they had abandoned it to like get away from this monster, and it's a vampire. It's like a space vampire, because this is called, oh, it's called Space Vampire, so it's sci-fi vampire, and she is the kind of the first human that he really sees, because I think they were testing on him, and I think she's actually like captured there, and it was good. I did say the beginning was really good. Like, it was super, super good in the beginning, and then it kind of fizzled out from there. It was very, very insta-lusty and insta-love. So I would have liked this. I probably would have actually liked this better if it was a full-blown novel and took like a little bit longer, but I do feel like hers are definitely more insta-lust anyway with her Ice Splinter Barbarian books. So this definitely felt like a Ruby Dixon novel. I gave it 3.5 stars. This one I actually think I would maybe round up as well. I haven't decided yet on this one. I liked Katie Roberts a little better, but this one definitely had a little bit more plot and intro to the story, but then like the end went so fast because she was trying to like write a full-blown beginning, middle, end of like their entire relationship in one book, so it definitely felt too rushed near the end, but really fun. Fun Ruby Dixon. I also just love vampires so much. Okay, the last two are my 2.5 stars, and I do not click with these authors anymore either, so they are authors that I'm not the biggest fans of because of their writing style. So the next one is My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming. I don't love rom-coms, and I've tried a couple of Kimberly Lemming's books before, and they're very over the top and very rom-com-y, which is just not what I love, and that's definitely what this one was. There's not a lot of plot, a lot of spice, and I was confused. So this one, our heroine like falls down, she's abandoned by her boyfriend, falls down the side of this mountain, lands in this small town, and then just has like spicy time with guys with tentacles separately. Yeah, so I don't know what was going on. Like, I don't think we were supposed to know what's going on, but like this had probably the least plot out of all of them, and I just feel like it was very over the top, which again is just not my favorite, so that's why I didn't love this one. If you love Kimberly Lemming and you love her writing and her writing style, I think you would really enjoy this one. And also I do love Why Choose, and I feel like you can't have a 50-page Why Choose romance. Like, I feel like that just does not work because there's so many people involved that I don't know. I did not love this. I did love the Beverly Jenkins reference. They referenced Nighthawk. I loved that, and one of the heroes was reading Nighthawk because she's like, you look like the hero from Nighthawk by Beverly Jenkins. Love a Beverly Jenkins reference, so very happy about that. But overall, I literally just write confused question mark. So it was fine. But I knew this wasn't going to be a favorite. I saved this one until the end because I just don't love the rom-com aspect. So not a favorite. And then the last one was the one I was also very excited to read because I used to love Christina Lauren. I haven't read a lot of their stuff recently because I just fell out of love with the change in their writing. And this one, some people did say it was kind of reminiscent of the spice they used to write because they kind of went in the non-spicy direction, but I think they've been writing some more spice, but this one was just all spice. And I was surprised by that because I feel like they haven't been writing that as much, but I love some angel wings, like the wings on the cover. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. This one is 56 pages, and it's literally just a holiday party hookup. And that's it. So I said they just met and have sex and he's obsessed. I do think that the note I made about the narration is that it kind of had an older sounding hero narrating that really reminded me of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series because it kind of felt nostalgic to me, but the only thing that happened was they hooked up in the 56 pages. So this one was not a favorite. I was very excited for this one, but it definitely was less plot and more spice and went in that direction. And so I gave it 2.5 stars. This was my least favorite of the whole set. I didn't love it, but I expected that. I expected to not love the shorter ones and the short ones by authors that I'm just not a fan of their writing style anymore, but I was pleasantly surprised by Allie Hazelwood's so good, the plot amazing, and definitely with the JT Geisinger, and then also Katie Roberts was pretty good, and the Ruby Dixon was pretty good. So 4 out of the 6 I definitely would recommend. I would love to know if you've read these and what your favorites were and what you enjoyed, and have you read any of the other Amazon collections? Please let me know. I would love to know if I should check out some of them. They do have some authors I love, but again, I don't know if I would go out of my way to read these because I don't read novellas, but I might take a look at them and look at the longer ones to see if I would enjoy them and if they are by favorite authors or if they're authors I haven't read yet. Like I said, these are a great way to get a taste of these authors' writings because I feel like they really do carry the voice of these authors and their writing style that I'm used to in their other books that I've read. So definitely check these out if you want to try out these authors or if they are favorite authors of yours, and let me know if you've read them. And if you've made it this far, leave me any sort of vampire slayer emoji in the comments down below because like I've been loving everything vampires lately, and the vampire ones in this one I did really enjoy. So leave me vampire emojis to let me know you made it this far, and that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.